Hello, my dears, and a very warm welcome back to Dear Grandma. Reaching 60 and beyond is such a remarkable milestone, a testament to all the life you've lived and the wisdom you've gathered. But as we all know, this new chapter can sometimes bring its own set of shifts. The things we once leaned on might feel a little less steady as life rearranges itself. Perhaps you've felt that quiet question, how do I stand tall now? Well, that's what I'm so eager to talk with you about today. I've been reflecting on my own journey and watching the paths of my dear friends, and I've come to see that there are these 6 wonderful pillars of strength we can build in our lives. These aren't just about getting by. They're about truly thriving and embracing this time with gusto. If this resonates with you, please do subscribe to Dear Grandma. We're here to support you in making these your very best years. Let's delve into these pillars that can help us all thrive. Pillar 1. Financial stability, the foundation of your freedom. Let's start with a pillar that brings such peace of mind, financial stability. Now, we all know that money can't buy happiness, and that's true. But after 60, it offers something just as precious, freedom. The freedom to choose where you live, how you spend your days, to say yes to a little adventure or no to something that drains you, without undue worry. This isn't about being wealthy. It's about having a strong safety net so that life's unexpected bumps don't knock you off course. As we age, it's easy to think that family will always be there to catch us financially, but they have their own lives and responsibilities. Building this pillar is really about your independence, your way of saying, I've got this, no matter what comes along. It's about being the captain of your own ship. I remember a few years ago, I faced a health issue that came out of the blue and started to eat away at my savings. I felt that knot of worry in my stomach, wondering how I would manage. But you see, over the years, I had made it a habit to save a little here and there. That little nest egg wasn't just money. It was my lifeline. It was a quiet reassurance that I would be okay, that I had planned for the unexpected. It wasn't about luxury. It was about security and the power to face the storm. My dear friend, George, also learned this valuable lesson. George is such a jovial man, always ready with a laugh. He had always envisioned that if his funds ever ran low, his children would step in. But then he needed an urgent and costly surgery that depleted his savings. When he turned to his children, he saw their own struggles. They were facing their own financial pressures. George realized then that financial stability wasn't something to rely on others for. It was a fortress he needed to build himself, brick by brick. He tightened his budget, found small ways to earn some extra income, and slowly, but surely, he regained his footing. It wasn't a gift. It was his own hard-earned security. Pillar 2. Physical health, your most valuable asset. Next, we have physical health, something truly precious that we can't take for granted. You can have all the riches and love in the world, but if your health falters, everything changes. Now, after 60, we might experience a few more aches and pains, but the wonderful thing is, we still have so much power to nurture our well-being. This isn't about chasing youth or becoming a marathon runner. It's about having the strength to do the things that bring joy, carrying your groceries, enjoying a walk in the park, or playing with your grandchildren without being limited by discomfort. It's your passport to an independent and fulfilling life. Family can offer their support and care when we're unwell, but they can't move our bodies for us. This pillar is ours to cultivate, and every bit of effort we put in pays back in the priceless currency of freedom. I experienced this firsthand after a surgery some time ago. My body felt sluggish and weak, and it made me feel so small and dependent. That's when I decided to take small but consistent steps. Gentle stretches each morning, just me and my determination. It wasn't always easy, but slowly, stiffness gave way to more ease. I'll never forget the joy of being able to walk a bit further each day, feeling my strength return. It taught me that our health is like a garden. We need to tend to it with care. My friend Eleanor, who you might remember from a previous chat, also showed me the power of perseverance in this area. She had been struggling with knee pain that made walking a real challenge. She could have resigned herself to staying indoors, but she didn't. She started with tiny walks, just a few steps at a time, even when it was uncomfortable. Gradually, she built up her strength and mobility. It wasn't a quick fix, but her determination paid off, and she regained her ability to enjoy her walks and her independence. It was a powerful reminder that we have more resilience within us than we sometimes realize. Pillar 3. Social circle. Never underestimate the power of connection. Now, let's talk about our social circle, that warm and vital connection to others. As we move through our 60s and beyond, loneliness can sometimes creep in, especially when family might be further away or busy with their own lives. Children build their own families, friends might move or pass on, and the quiet can become overwhelming. That's why our connections with others are so important. Friends, neighbors, people who share our interests and bring laughter into our days. This isn't just about having someone to chat with over tea. It's a lifeline for our health, our spirits, and our overall well-being. Research even shows that people with strong social connections tend to be healthier and live longer. You don't need a huge crowd, just a few genuine people who lift you up when you're down and share your joys. They're the anchors that keep us steady. When I moved to a new town years ago, I experienced that feeling of isolation. My family was far away, and my old friends were just voices on the phone. It felt quite lonely. I knew I needed to build new connections. So, I started small. A friendly wave to a neighbor, a chat after a book club meeting, joining a walking group even though it felt a little daunting at first. It took time, but slowly I found my people. A small group who knew me and brought so much warmth into my life. They weren't just filling my time, they were filling my heart. My friend John, a kind man who enjoys his own company, also discovered the importance of connection later in life. After he retired, his world became much smaller. His work friends drifted away, and his family had their own busy lives. John found himself quite isolated. Then, almost by chance, he joined a local history group. He was hesitant at first, but he found a shared passion with the other members. They went on outings, had lively discussions, and John found a new sense of belonging and connection. It reminded him that even when we cherish our solitude, having those threads of connection to others enriches our lives in immeasurable ways. Let's move on to a pillar that gives our days such meaning. Pillar 4. Sense of purpose. Find what fuels you. This pillar, my dears, is about that inner spark that gets you out of bed in the morning, that feeling that you matter and that your time has value. After 60, the roles that once defined us, our careers, raising our families, might shift, and it can sometimes leave us feeling a little adrift, like we've lost our way. Retirement can bring a lot of open hours, but it's so important to fill them with things that ignite our passion and give us a sense of contribution. Purpose isn't just about grand achievements. It can be found in the smallest of things. A hobby you love, helping a neighbor, learning something new, sharing your skills or wisdom. It's that deep down drive that makes your heart feel full. And the wonderful thing is, it's never too late to discover or rediscover your purpose. When I retired from my work, I found myself with a lot of time on my hands, and if I'm honest, I felt a bit lost. The routine I had known for so long was gone, and I missed feeling like I was contributing in a meaningful way. Then, I started volunteering at a local community center, helping with their gardening program. It wasn't glamorous work, just getting my hands in the soil and helping things grow. But seeing the little seedlings flourish and the joy it brought to others gave me such a sense of fulfillment. It wasn't the same as my career, but it gave my days a new rhythm and a renewed sense of purpose. My friend Eleanor, who has such a creative spirit, also found a new sense of purpose in retirement. She had always enjoyed painting, but never had much time for it while working. Once she retired, she joined a local art group. Not only did she rediscover her passion for painting, but she also started teaching beginners. Seeing her students' faces light up as they created their own artwork gave her such joy and a renewed sense of purpose. She found that sharing her skills and passion not only enriched her own life, but also brought beauty into the lives of others. Pillar 5. Emotional resilience. The power within. Now, let's talk about a strength that truly carries us through life's ups and downs. Emotional resilience. As we journey through our 60s and beyond, life doesn't always get easier. We might face health challenges, the loss of loved ones, and unexpected changes. Emotional resilience isn't about pretending these things don't hurt. It's about how we navigate through those difficult times and find our way back to a sense of peace and strength. It's that inner ability to bend without breaking, to grieve and heal, and to keep moving forward even when things feel tough. We all have this inner strength, even if it doesn't always feel like it. It's about learning healthy ways to cope with stress, to process our emotions, and to find comfort and support when we need it. I've certainly had my share of difficult times, losses that have left a deep ache. I learned that it's important to allow ourselves to feel those emotions, to cry when we need to, and to reach out to others for support. I found comfort in my faith, in spending time in nature, and in talking with trusted friends. It wasn't about being strong all the time, but about allowing myself to be vulnerable and to find healthy ways to cope. My dear friend George showed incredible resilience when he faced his unexpected health challenges and financial difficulties. Instead of giving in to despair, he tapped into an inner strength he didn't even know he had. He focused on what he could control, sought solutions, and kept a positive attitude despite the setbacks. His ability to bounce back from adversity was truly inspiring. He showed me that resilience isn't about avoiding the storms of life, but about learning how to weather them. Pillar 6. Adaptability. Embrace change. Don't resist it. Finally, let's talk about adaptability. That wonderful ability to roll with the punches and embrace the changes that life inevitably brings. After 60, life can sometimes feel like it's changing at a rapid pace. Technology evolves, our bodies might change, and routines we've cherished might need adjusting. The key is to not resist these changes, but to learn to adapt and find new ways of doing things. Adaptability is about keeping an open mind, being willing to learn new things, and seeing change not as a threat but as an opportunity for growth and new experiences. I'll admit, I wasn't always the most adaptable person. I liked my routines and wasn't always keen on new technology, but I realized that resisting change was making things harder for me. So, I decided to embrace learning new things, even if it felt a little daunting at first. I learned how to use video calls to stay connected with family, and I even joined some online groups that have introduced me to new friends and interests. It wasn't always easy, but it opened up a whole new world for me. My friend Eleanor has shown incredible adaptability in embracing new technologies. Initially, she was hesitant about using computers and smartphones. But her granddaughter, Sarah, patiently showed her the ropes, and now Eleanor enjoys video chatting with family, exploring her hobbies online, and even participating in virtual book clubs. Her willingness to learn and adapt has kept her connected and engaged with the world in wonderful new ways. It's a reminder that we're never too old to learn and that embracing change can bring unexpected joys. So, my dears, there you have it. The 6 pillars of strength that I've learned are so vital for thriving after 60. Financial stability, physical health, a strong social circle, a meaningful sense of purpose, emotional resilience, and the wonderful ability to adapt. These aren't just abstract ideas, they are the building blocks for a vibrant and fulfilling life. I encourage you to reflect on these pillars in your own life. Which ones feel strong, and which might need a little more attention? Remember, building these strengths is a journey, and every small step you take makes a difference. Thank you so much for spending this time with me today on Dear Grandma. I truly hope this has offered some comfort and inspiration. Please do share in the comments below which of these pillars resonates with you the most or what steps you might be considering. And if you found this helpful, please subscribe to Dear Grandma for more heartfelt chats and tips for making these your very best years.